My guests at this time are the founders of Moxie 88. They are also the co-executive producers of the upcoming Disney Channel series Ultraviolet and Blue Demon. And of course, we are joined here today by Blue Demon Jr. himself. It's Dan Carrillo and Eugenio Villamar and Blue Demon Jr. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me here today.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Well, I'll start with you, Blue Demon. It's a very big deal. You're getting your own Disney Channel series and everything like that. How did you first meet up with Dan and Eugenio? Where does this story start for you?
Well, the history is 11 years ago when I talked with Dan with this beautiful project, and Eugenio is coming later. But now this is a dream. This is a real dream in this moment for us. I think this is the best big deal in my life.
That's a huge statement. I mean, you were a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. I mean, you've had a lot of big moments in your career, Blue Demon. That's incredible to hear you say that you think this highly of it. I mean, you're coming under the Disney umbrella. That's not surprising, I guess, to hear. So,
well, the NWA Championship is a big moment in my career, but this isn't the most big moment. This is the best deal in my life.
Yeah, absolutely. And Eugenio, Dan, we'll start with you, Eugenio. Tell me about Moxie 88. Before we get to how you guys brought this thing to Disney Channel, how did you guys form Moxie 88? What's the style of projects that you guys typically like to work on?
Yeah, Moxie 88 is a company that Dan and I founded around 6 years ago in Los Angeles. We came, both of us, we earned our chops in the Mexican film industry, doing features and music videos and a lot of commercials.
Awesome.
And Dan and I found that we had, similar goals in film production. We wanted, our intention was to create and develop properties with a Latino flavor, with a wrapper of U.S. style screenwriting, if you will.
Okay.
So that's really a profile of our company, and we really appreciate projects that really stand the test of time or bring something to the table. And for example, Blue Demon was a property that for us, it was an IP that we felt matched our company goals, and that's what we did.
Yeah, and I know, and Dan, I don't know if you talk a little bit about that as well. You guys own the IP for Blue Demon Jr. then, so you guys brought this IP to Disney. Tell me a little bit about what that process was like there. How does that work when you just have an entity you bring to Disney?
Well, it's first of all, it's been, it's for 15 years obsessed with Blue and then becoming friends with him and working different ideas. But the most important thing was figuring out how to approach the mask and the entity for every audience, including the people that are not lucha wrestling fans or know Blue Demon already. For Latinos, his mask and his persona is something you are born with. So it was finding that in creating the proper entity so we can do the licensing for all the projects that we are doing. So, it was first of all, convincing Blue about the vision and creating a company together, which is Demon Worldwide, which is it's owned by Moxie 88. It's part of Moxie 88 umbrella. And Demon Worldwide, it's exclusively a company to develop content and projects based on Blue Demon Jr. and his mask and legacy.
That's awesome. And so, Blue Demon, tell me a little bit about this. How do you see yourself and this character, Blue Demon Jr. You've created for all these years? How do you see this character growing now? What else would you like to see done with it here?
Well, if I can see my time, I grow a lot with this project. I have 35 years in this business, but now I feel I grow in this moment.
Yeah, 100%. And I know that you guys, Eugenio and Dan, I saw there was another Demon project on y'all's website. So was this was the Disney project the first thing you guys had in mind, or was there another project you guys were kind of working on with Blue Demon that
we?
Yeah,
I can explain you. The part of the licensing. What we did is that Blue Demon was very wise since the beginning of his career to have very good control of his assets of intellectual property, and we just were the channel, and we channel the trademarks and the character registration to a proper way. And what we offered him was to create an entity to license different projects. And one of them was Disney, for example, is a license. It's one of our licenses to the children's arena.
Right.
And then we have a movie project, which is the Demon, that it's in the development. It's gonna come. We're gonna bring the news after once we get to the later stages.
Okay.
And, but we have comic books, we have projects, we have cartoons,
Video game.
and video games, different IPs of moving the property. Disney is just the first one. So
Okay. Wow, that's awesome.
Underwear. Finally, this is a big dream from Dan. Make my underwear license.
Blue underwear. Yeah, actually Disney is just one step of the underwear. That it was us. How do we sell underwear? Let's make a Disney show. No, I'm kidding. Totally not.
The path to merchandising Blue Demon underwear obviously goes through the Disney Channel.
Paper toilet too.
So wait, this is a pretty interesting concept for the show. So I was reading about this show here, and the idea is that I guess Blue Demon Jr., your daughter finds like this magical lucha libre mask. Did I get this right?
Niece.
Yes.
Sabrina.
Niece.
Okay. It's a niece.
Okay.
Niece.
Okay, this is pretty cool. So she finds out like you're a superhero. She becomes a superhero. Talk to me a little bit about what can people expect when this becomes a show? What is the show about? Yeah.
This is a beautiful fusion, but Ultraviolet is a new age people, new generation, and I'm old school. I'm not. I don't use phones. Don't use the nothing about the technology, and this is a big crossover, but the old school with the new school.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a problems with my knee, but she's very, very ¿cómo le pusimos traviesa?
Oh, she has a lot of spunk, and she's always like doing like, going the wrong ways, the whole show.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a class of generations. I mean, obviously, the story is that she discovers that her uncle is a superhero at night and a luchador during the day. And she also discovers that the mask picked her as the next heir to the legacy.
Don't say more. Don't say more.
But what I can add, Nick, is that what the intention of the show was. It's a comedy show, of course, and as you can see, Blue Demon has a very good comedic sense. And what we're trying to do in this show is revive the genre of the movies of the old times. There's a lot of Blue Demon movies that were done by Blue Demon Jr.'s father.
Yeah.
And it's a revival of the genre. So that's very important for us to bring that Latino superhero to the U.S. market and to the worldwide market. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, that's great. It's been a transition. I think it's over the last 20 years, Lucha Libre has really kind of infiltrated the United States. A lot of wrestlers know a little bit of lucha now here in the U.S., but it's time to bring that next step to it. Just for you, Blue Demon Jr., what's it been like watching North America, the United States, start to really embrace lucha culture more? I mean, how does this feel for you?
Well, I feel great, and really, I cannot believe it. But now I am in another position. I'm work very hard, but with the American peoples know me, and now is the reality.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel good. I feel good, really, really.
Yeah, because a lot of people got to see you a little bit, over on Lucha Underground. Obviously, you had some time there, so it's not like this is your first, kind of big exposure. People are very familiar with you. Obviously, you're like a legend. So, with that, I mean, Dan and Eugenio, when you go to Disney, what do they say? Do they get pro wrestling? Like, what was their reaction when you came to them wanting to do this Lucha Libre inspired, sitcom?
Well, the first thing they needed to understand, which is difficult to explain, is that Blue doesn't take the mask off. It's a very unique thing about Lucha Libre that he is the persona and no one knows his face. And what I'm saying is, like, even people that shot the pilot, the executives at Disney, the legal team that did the contracts, they don't know his face. Even to get him into the meetings at Disney, they don't get to see his face. Security was a problem with security, how to get him in.
Really?
So that is the first thing that they need to learn, that he is a living character, which is very unique, and it's part of what draw us into doing these projects. He lives his life as Blue Demon, and that's it. Like it's not like Batman has Bruce Wayne and Batman. No, Blue Demon is Blue Demon all the time. So that was the first thing that we had to make them understand and pitch to them, and how we would do the show and continue this, because obviously it's not the case with the girl in the show. So it was a little bit about understanding not only the importance of the mask, but also what the legacy and the iconography and the mask means to Latin America, to Mexico, but also to Asia, to Europe. This is an icon to us. It is, there's Eugenio always says that there's two things that in Mexico if you're born in Mexico, and it is Jesus Christ and Blue Demon. And how do you approach that correctly? How do you create a new generation, but at the same time, how do you not alienate fans of lucha, fans of wrestling, into creating a new concept? And how do you bring people not familiar with the lucha world and the wrestling world into this show? So that was the first thing that we needed to come up with, a cool idea, a cool take, and that's something that Eugenio and I did. And we just went in, the three of us, we went into, we had planned to go to different studios. It was a dream of us for it to be at Disney, because we love what they do, and to us, Blue has always belonged side to side with people like Iron Man and Spider-Man and all that. And we were lucky enough that the meeting, they understood. They were amazed by Blue. They were amazed by his charisma, by his persona. Like when you see him in a shot, he's larger than life. And I think that was very important for them, not only to listen, but to see it live.
Wow.
And Nick, if I could add something to this, is that being that this is a wrestling podcast, it's very important to talk about lucha, right? And we're gonna have lucha in the show. It's very important to note that Blue Demon, as playing himself, Blue Demon Jr., he is a wrestler. That's his front. But at night, he's a superhero. So we are always, always, always going to have lucha. On the pilot, which is already shot, we did it in October. We had lucha, and we brought one of famous names there to fight against him. We're not gonna say who.
I was gonna say, who are they?
But you most probably know him because he's very famous. And but yeah, we're gonna start to play with those concepts of bringing cameos of different types of lucha into the show
and wrestling.
And wrestling, show the styles and all the things, so we can give that flavor for people that love wrestling and people that love lucha.
It's great for me because as a kid growing up, when I watched Disney, you got Vader on Boy Meets World. You had the Bushwhackers. They popped up on Family Matters. This seems like it's gonna be really exciting. Is it any different for you, Blue Demon, like playing directly to kids, or as opposed to being in like more adult genre? Like, how is it for you? How are you finding your space in Disney? Are you enjoying kind of being in that space?
Well, this is the new world for me. I never acted on front of the camera, and now this is the new world. I need coaching for action and for acting, and I don't know. This is the new world for me, but I like it, and I do with too much love. I love my career. I love my name. I love my mask, and I love my name.
Yeah,
it's fabulous in this moment.
I was just going to ask you, like, how difficult was it for you to go through acting classes? Was that any different for you? I mean, especially having to act like with a mask on and stuff. That takes away so many of the emotional things you can do with your eyebrows and your mouth and things like that.
Yeah. It's so difficult for me, but I don't have expression. Only my expression is my eyes. You see my eyes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm terrified. Well, yes.
But actually, it's funny that you asked that, because he did a lot of work to get for the pilot and for the series, and even though there is not a lot of expression that you can think there is with the mask, it was remarkable. I mean, there were some scenes that like the moment they yelled cut, everyone started clapping and screaming of excitement because it was a very heartfelt moment in the scene. And he can go from the action, from the comedy to the heartfelt moment, and you do see a difference between his eyes, his mouth, and especially his voice. And obviously, we are very lucky to have Blue also with an amazing cast around him.
Yeah, totally.
So it's truly a remarkable thing to watch as a wrestling fan and as a Blue Demon fan.
So
also he did his own stunts, by the way, Nick. All the stunts here were done by him. Not only the ones on Lucha, but also the stunt work on the fights against crime. We had big fights, so it's like, you know, we tortured Blue, like he's here, but we tortured him. He played it like a champ. And
not a single shot with a stunt double. This is only something that I think Tom Cruise and Blue Demon are the only ones in the world doing.
How did you enjoy that, Blue? Was that fun for you, getting to do all your own stunts and everything?
Well, I love the action scenes, but I don't use the stunts, and I feel great because it's my world. The fight is my world, and I feel comfortable there.
Yeah. And for you guys, Eugenio and Dan, and I mean, I guess you're also an executive producer on this as well, Blue. I'll ask, like, how much creative control did you have on it? Was Disney coming to you with like a cast of characters like Scarlet and saying, these are people we want you to use, or how was it putting the show together? How much creative control did you have on it?
Well, the original...
Go for it, Dan.
Yeah, the original idea was something that we all went in and pitched. The whole concept.
Cool.
And then obviously we got involved. Disney asked us to pick a few options, and they sent us Dan Hernandez and Benji Samit, who did Detective Pikachu, as the writers for the show.
They wrote Detective Pikachu? The guys that wrote...
Yes.
Wow. I saw that movie in theaters. I'm a big Pokemon nerd, so that's cool.
Oh, so it was meant to be. I mean, they're big fans. Dan has been a big fan of Blue Demon for forever. Actually, when they sent us their email about wanting to do the show, they sent it with a photo of him wearing the Blue Demon mask. So we became a family really quick, and then they brought their own ideas, their own twists, and took the story to the next level. But we were involved at every step of the way, from casting to location to picking DP, director for the pilot. And it's very important. Not only was important for Disney to remain authentic, to respect Mexican and Latino culture, Mexican American culture, not to enrage any fans. So in order to keep everything authentic and follow the legacy, not only us, but Blue was very involved in all the process. And that was also amazing. That is a very unique situation for a studio like Disney to give you the freedom. It was an all Latino crew, which is very rare in the industry.
Wow.
Everyone spoke Spanish too. We wanted to make Blue feel at home. But it's funny because when you say all Latino, sometimes they think, well, all Mexicans. But for example, Scarlett doesn't speak Spanish. And, she's a Latina as well. So it's like all this the show became this mixing pot that represents the show perfectly. Like we said earlier, it's old school versus new school, but it's also Mexican versus Mexican American, with Mexican American and Latino in the US, and all this mixes of cultures that it could only be done with the proper authenticity, and of course with Blue being there and knowing what he's doing.
One of the interesting things I thought you guys brought up in the press release I read was the idea that you're bringing that Latinx culture to the superhero genre. I mean, I had to sit there and think about it. Do you guys feel like the Latin community has been overlooked when it comes to this huge superhero boom? I mean, this seems like it's going to be a great way for you guys to kind of join that mix and everything.
Well, for us, Blue's father's movies were the original Justice League. Before there was this crazy Marvel universe, there were El Santo and Blue Demon movies, right? So it was just a natural step. Where are those superheroes? To be honest, we know that there's a lot of Latino superheroes that came from comic books in the latest years, and obviously there's Miles Morales and all this. But this is the one of the non-adapted and original superheroes. It's not like Peter Parker gave it to Miles Morales and then he became Spider-Man. He was always Blue Demon. He was always a Mexican wrestler who also fought monsters. So it is very important, for Latinos to see representation. And also there's a second level of representation in our show, which is women. You know, it's very funny that people consider luchadors a very macho icon, you know, a very manly thing. And now we have a 13-year-old little fragile, you know, beautiful girl being the superhero and wearing the mask and, you know, doing lucha moves. So that is very, very interesting to be able to play in that sandbox and create this world.
Yeah, absolutely. And Blue, what does it mean to you to kind of get to pick up what your dad left off with here and to become the in the spotlight and be the luchador that is fighting all these bad guys and things like that? Blue?
Yo no le entendí, se oye muy cortado, ¿puedes repetir tú?
Oh.
¿Qué representa para ti? ¿Qué representa para ti el tomar la siguiente etapa de Blue Demon como tu papá? Con lo que hizo tu papá, tú seguir la siguiente etapa. ¿Qué representa para ti en inglés?
Okay, this is a big responsibility, and this is a most hard job for me. Yeah, we are a big team. We are a big family. We have the best cast in the industry in this moment. I think this is for me a big responsibility, but I do it with emotion.
Awesome. All right. Well, guys, I'm very excited about this. And I guess I'll close. So when do you expect people will be able to get a glimpse of the pilot or the show? When do you think people are going to be able to get to see what you guys have been working on?
The show premieres
the show premieres this year. We're shooting this year. The date is moving. We don't want to give a specific date, but we know this year, 2021, the show's coming on air. So yeah.
And people will be able to find it on Disney Plus then and everything else then, I guess, when this thing comes out. Yeah, is that the plan?
It's gonna release this year globally. We're very excited. It's gonna be different, because for example, yes, it is a Disney Channel show for the US, but there's countries that they don't have Disney Channel anymore. So it will be depending on the platform and depending on the country, but hopefully everyone loves it because we've been working only on the pilot. It took us 3 years of development at Disney to get here.
Wow. Okay, cool. And where can people go to find more information about the show and you guys and everything else like that? Where would you like to send everybody?
Well, we are very active on social media, on the social media for Moxie 88 and our personal social media as well as Blue Demon. I'm Dan Film in every platform. Eugenio is E. Villamar. And Blue Demon Jr., he's on Twitter and all that. We also have in our website, moxie88.com, where as the more info comes up and release date, trailer, everything like that, we'll be reposting and adding it.